What's up YouTube? Today I'm gonna be looking 10 years into the future. This video will be packed full of details about my personal life and everything that I wish to accomplish and do. But before I get started, I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Steven Kasani. I'm from China. I'm 25 years old and I was adopted and brought to the US when I was 3. I was then immediately exposed to American culture right from the get-go. I grew up in Utah County and I currently reside in Salt Lake City. Looking 10 years into the future, I'll begin by talking about my career goals and current job. Since the time I dropped out of school in 2019, I've been working at an Amazon warehouse full-time. Comparing my previous jobs with my current one, Amazon has been by far the best one in my life. Now, this doesn't mean I love my job. I actually hate it, truth be told. But the benefits that come with it is the reason why I'm still sticking around. Yes, Amazon has great dental, health, and vision insurance, but considering how structured my job is in terms of work schedule availability, paid time off, and most importantly, my pay is why I'm still working there. I also like the fact that I get to work alone, whereas in my previous jobs, I had to constantly communicate with coworkers and customers. This was especially true when I used to work in fast food. However, as an Amazon warehouse associate, constant social interactions are not needed, which is something I admire immensely about my job. So the main question is, do I still see myself working there in the future? Well, knowing what I know today about myself, I still plan on working there in the long term. But of course, my plans could go awry due to unpredictable things that may transpire in my personal life, so I'm not promising anything. We'll see. Since I plan to work there for another 10 plus years, you might be wondering, what do I do in my free time? Well, speaking of work-life balance, I can simply tell you my life is divided into two parts: my work life and my personal life. For most people, work occupies the majority of their time, and that's the case for me. In a normal week, I work 4 days and get 3 days off. During my time off, I do a lot of stuff. Besides doing chores and other monotonous things to keep my life in check, I spend my free time working on one and only one goal, and that is learning Spanish. I devote all my free time to it whenever I get the chance. I've been learning it sporadically over the past 11 years, but I've failed many times. Fortunately, however, I discovered a new learning method from a coworker. This method is known as comprehensible input, and I've been learning on a website called Dreaming Spanish. Following this euphoric discovery, I cried, "Eureka! Eureka!" For the first time in over a decade, I finally could see the light at the end of the tunnel. Achieving fluency is possible without traveling abroad. Hence the reason for why I study endless hours every day on my days off. I literally don't do anything but that. Needless to say, I still take short breaks between study sessions, and oftentimes I plan out my sessions where I alternate between different tasks in order to take care of other life responsibilities. If I continue the way I'm learning Spanish, and if I don't give up, in 10 years' time, I feel confident I'll be fluent. Since I always devote all my free time to Spanish, I haven't been doing other things lately, such as exercising. Something very important to mention is that learning Spanish is not an activity that I will consider my hobby, despite spending so much time on it. I'll admit it, I don't know what I truly love doing. Discovering my true passion is like trying to look for a needle in a haystack. However, some activities that I used to do a lot in the past include exercising, studying math, binging on YouTube, hiking, playing music, and learning about personal finance. But nowadays, I practically don't do anything else in my free time due to my commitment to Spanish. My point is, I really want to find something that I truly love doing in which I wouldn't care whether I got paid or not. This really ties into the fact that within the next 10 years, I'm hoping I'll discover what career path I ultimately want to pursue. Virtually any hobby or interest can turn into a career or spark a new business idea. So if by then I don't find anything I'm passionate about, then my plan is to continue working at Amazon. Besides my job and career prospects and my devotion to learning Spanish, there's one thing I hope to change in the near future. I have a mental health condition known as social anxiety disorder. I've had this issue my entire life, and it has affected relationships I've had with friends, family, and coworkers. If I could ask a genie for one wish, I would wish that I didn't have social anxiety. I believe this issue is what's preventing happiness in my life. 5 years ago, I saw a therapist who told me if I ever want to overcome this issue, I would have to gradually expose myself little by little to social situations in which I feel slightly uncomfortable. This is known as exposure therapy. I've been experimenting with this at work where I've been trying to socialize more rather than avoiding social interactions like I used to always do. I still oftentimes avoid talking, and I continue to feel nervous, but I would say I appear more social than I used to in the past. Getting out of my comfort zone is nerve-wracking, and it's not easy, but at least I can say it's better than doing nothing. Another action I'm taking to help me overcome social anxiety is learning Spanish. I will tell you, when I'm learning Spanish, I'm a different person. My personality goes from being an introvert to an extrovert. Well, almost. I would describe myself as being a little bit more outgoing. Because language learning is intrinsically a social activity, I believe as I continue to practice Spanish with others, I will slowly but steadily overcome social anxiety. Therefore, I always seek opportunities to practice because not only do I improve my Spanish, but also my social skills, which will allow me to feel more confident and hopefully reduce my anxiety. Over the past 2 months, every week, I've been talking to a girl from Mexico via video call. It's been a wonderful experience, and I've realized my social skills are not as bad as I thought they were. Maybe if I had the same enthusiasm for speaking English, my social anxiety would cease to exist. Besides social anxiety being the most detrimental health issue in my life right now, I want to quickly state a few physical health issues I have that I want to resolve within the next 10 years. I have myopia, insomnia, polyuria aka polyuria, and an inguinal hernia. Except for the hernia, I have suffered these issues for several years now, and I really want to resolve them as soon as possible, as I know they will improve my quality of life immensely. To cure myopia, I'm thinking of getting LASIK eye surgery next year. Insomnia and polyuria are very complex health issues, so I honestly don't know exactly what to do about them right now. Hopefully, I'll figure something out soon. Finally, my inguinal hernia may or may not need surgery, as that'll depend on my symptoms as time goes on. Moving on to the next part of this video, I'm now going to discuss some other interesting stuff. So to begin, I'll start by talking about my bucket list. As of this recording, there are only 2 things I actually really want to do in the upcoming years. The first is traveling to a Spanish country. It only makes sense to do so because I'm learning Spanish. I'm hoping to travel within the next 5 years, and the goal is that by the time I go, I'll be somewhat conversationally fluent in Spanish, in which I'm able to maintain a good conversation without too many problems. In order to have a better experience, I would like to invite a friend. I prefer someone who is either fluent in Spanish or who is studying it and is at an intermediate level or higher. Second on my bucket list is running a marathon. Running is my favorite exercise activity. Back in 2016, I fell in love with the sport when I completed a 5K race as part of a homework assignment for PE class. However, due to various life events since then, I haven't been very consistent with training, but I remain optimistic that I will eventually find the commitment to train. Knowing how things always change, I'm sure I'll add more to my bucket list later on. But apart from that, there are also possible surprises that could transpire in my life. These are certain events, life changes, or experiences that could ultimately have a huge impact on my future and are impossible to predict or anticipate. In this order, I'll talk about my possibility of friendship, marriage, education, illness, and financial prosperity. These are extremely important topics and are relevant in everyone's lives. I'll discuss each one in detail and why a major change in any of these would definitely be a huge surprise in my life. The first one is friendship. I'll be honest, I need more friends. I really do. There are certain types of friends I desire. Having fewer friends that I am close to is way more important than having a ton of friends who I am not close to. People I know fall into 4 basic friendship levels that I have personally categorized. People in level 1 are acquaintances. Level 2 are ones who are casual friends. Level 3 are close friends. And level 4 finally are people who I consider like family. Put it simply, I think quality is better than quantity when it comes to friendship. So I want friends who are in levels 3 or 4. These people are the ones who genuinely care about me and are the ones who play a positive role in my life and vice versa. In contrast, people that I know who fall into levels 1 or 2 are people who aren't as close to me, hence the reason why they don't have any effect in my life. The point is, I want to fill up my life with the right kind of friends. Sadly to say, I currently have no friends who are at a level 3 or 4, but I can gladly state that I have a few friends who are approaching level 3. They're almost there, but not quite there yet, because there are certain things that will need to occur before I consider them true close friends. These friends take a long time to develop, which is why it's something that requires a lot of patience and time, similar to the effort it takes to build a good relationship with your significant other. Closely related to friendship is marriage. It's a deep form of friendship, sort of like level 4, which I consider like family. To me, the possibility of marriage seems surreal, for I believe I am more likely to make close friends than I am to marry. If I were to marry, I would have to develop a level 4 friendship with someone, and frankly, I have never made a friend like that in my life before. I'm 25, and believe it or not, I've never gone on a date. Not too long ago, I wasn't interested in dating, but I've had strange dreams about being in love, and the way I have felt in those dreams were feelings of euphoria, pleasure, and pure satisfaction, unlike anything I've felt before. So, because of those dreams, my desire for romantic love has changed. I want to go to friend. I want to feel loved and cared for. I would like to start dating, but the idea of entering the dating scene feels so nerve-wracking. I can tell you for a fact that I'm never going to ask a girl out without first getting to know them. Doing so, whether that be at school or work, for example, will allow me to determine if they're interested, because the last thing I want is rejection and embarrassment. I would just say marriage is a possibility within the next 10 years, but I would be content if I simply have close friends. Moving on to the next possible surprise is education. I left school after fall semester in 2019. I am technically on a leave of absence, but since it's already been 4 years and I currently have no plans whatsoever on returning, I consider myself a college dropout. If you want to know in detail why I did so, click the link in the description below that'll take you to a video I posted in 2022. But in brief, the cause of my dropout stemmed from the fact that I wasn't academically competent enough, which then led to academic struggles, which then led to mental distress, which eventually led to my decision to drop out. In other words, my mental distress was derived from my own academic struggles, and those struggles were derived from my unpreparedness for college. I know I made the right choice, for if I hadn't done so, I would have continued to have feelings of despondency. Since then, I've been more satisfied and less stressed, and I don't regret my decision. As of right now, I plan to continue working at Amazon, but if history is any guide for what the future could hold, I will always consider it a viable option. Similarly to the uncertainty of returning to school, the same applies to illness. To be frank, I'm so frightened by the fact that it's inevitable that at some point in my life, I'll develop some kind of serious illness, whether that be from an unintentional injury or a health issue that gradually appears over time. I understand that everyone gets them, and more likely than not, I'll develop a serious one in the future. It'll affect every aspect of my daily life, and all I can do for now is prepare financially and hope for the best. Finally, the last possible surprise is financial prosperity. Simply put it, I want to be wealthier in the future. I'm nearly certain I'll be, assuming I don't change any of my financial habits and that the economy doesn't tank. But whatever happens, I'm confident I'll conquer any financial misfortunes. Besides that, there are two big ticket items I could end up buying that'll have a huge impact on my future finances. The first item is a car. I used to have one, but I totaled it in 2017. At this moment, owning a car is a want rather than a necessity, so if I end up owning one, it'll definitely be a huge surprise. The second item is a house. I spent countless hours comparing the differences between renting and buying, and I found out renting makes a lot more sense for me rather than owning. Alright, just a quick recap. Possible surprises in my life that could transpire within the next 10 years include friendship, marriage, education, illness, and financial prosperity. A change in any of these will have profound effects in all areas of my life. During the final part of this video, I want to quickly go over a few miscellaneous things that could change throughout the years as I age from 25 to 35. First up is math. Math is an objective subject. Unlike other subjects that I open to debate, such as politics, math is not. It also has many useful applications in daily life. Due to these reasons, I enjoy the ways in which I can use math to my advantage to help solve problems in my day-to-day life. That is why I remain interested in improving my math skills. However, I'm unlikely to resume my personal math studies because I'm already spending so much time on Spanish, which I believe will be more useful than math. Autism. Yes, I have it. To be more specific, I have high-functioning autism. This is a less severe form of it, which means I'm able to function and live independently without any help. I'm just hoping within 10 years, my autistic symptoms will subside. Drugs and drinking. I don't ever plan on doing them because they are dangerous and unhealthy. Body weight. I've been weighing between 110 and 125 since 2016, so I plan to continue maintaining this weight indefinitely. Hopefully, by the time I'm 35, I will have continued to do so by exercising and eating healthy. Facial appearance. I simply hope my face will still look young. More likely than not, there will be signs of aging, but currently I'm overhauling my skincare routine to improve my facial regimen. Religion. This is a very difficult subject to study, but I'm interested in learning more about it because it plays an important role in many people's lives, and I've always questioned many aspects of life that can't be answered with science, so perhaps in the future I may end up following a religion in order to have a better understanding of life and my purpose. New apartment. I hate moving. It always requires a lot of time, effort, and money. I'll likely be moving again in the upcoming years, but I can confidently tell you that I'll continue living here in Salt Lake City for as long as I continue working at Amazon. Roommate. I want one, but I don't need one. It'll be nice to have one so I could save money on housing, but also to have a loyal friend who I can hang out with so that I don't have such a lonely life. Finally, the last miscellaneous thing I want to mention is YouTube. I started this channel with the original goal of becoming a full-time creator. In the end, it didn't work out though. I continue to post, however, because I want to document important things that transpire in my life. It's always fun to look back at my old videos and reminisce about all the different phases of my life and what I've done. Since I'm not so serious with posting frequent videos, I think reaching 1,000 subscribers is a realistic goal to achieve by the time I'm 35. Yay! Congratulations! Thanks for watching all the way to the end, if you actually did so rather than skipping to certain parts of the video. I intentionally made this video very long because I wanted to explain in detail my hopes, dreams, ambitions, and the things that I expect to do in the future. Looking back at this in 10 years from now will evoke feelings of nostalgia and make me reflect and contemplate deeply about myself to see what steps I should take during the next 10 years of my life. To close, if I had to summarize this entire video in one sentence, it'd be this. No matter what happens in the future, regardless of what life situation I find myself in, I just simply want to be happier. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I would like to hear your thoughts on this, so please comment down below. Have a good day and good luck in everything you do.